Hello. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
All right, so welcome to today's class. Previously we were talking about the Linux operating system, and we were trying to know what it's all about, the possibilities of things that you can attempt with the Linux operating system, and how various distributions of them and what each one is serving the purpose for. And then I guess we are able also to know how to utilize some commands in the Linux operating system. And today we are going deeper than that from the standpoint of installing and uninstalling our applications, then being able to um, what was that again? I've been able to answer some questions with regards to some commands that we never talked about, or do people asked about them. So we're able to look at them and know how to be able to use the grep command in order to search, even though we are not able to do, we haven't read to the explanation of that yet. So we're able to figure out so many things together. We're able to learn together. So apart from that, I think one thing we need to also be learning further on this Linux is that about the Linux commands and how they work, how they function, and how we can utilize them in our cybersecurity endeavors. So as we are about to begin, just let's trade on the path of we are trying to learn something, and we'll also take our time to better understand them. So we want to talk about the Linux commands. There are various commands in the Linux operating system, and these commands help us to do one thing or the other with regards to our Linux. So it helps us to do many things with regards to cybersecurity. These commands are essential. Though they are basic, but you need them in order to thrive on the advanced one. If you don't know them at this point, you will probably encounter a lot of difficulties trying to get your hands on so many other commands that will follow. So the basic foundation of these commands helps you to be able to learn more commands or learn other options that go with these commands. So today, well, this is the bash one. This is the thing. So let's kind of establish something about the file hierarchy system. Let's establish something about the file hierarchy system. So that's it. We are starting with that. If you are still with me on this journey, can I get a thumbs up so that we'll know that we are still on the same page? Okay, thank you. So why I want to talk about the file hierarchy system is because you will often be utilizing them where you want to express what you want the commands to do for you. You can't tell a command to do something if you don't supply them things that they are meant to do for you. In the sense of you want to install an application, you tell the command sudo apt install, you tell him the application that you want him to install, right? So this is the format that you instruct a command. A command works with your arguments. So they work with something that you supply them with. So they don't just, when you type the command without any follow-up arguments, there is nothing that is being done for you. So, but now, why are we talking about the file hierarchy system? Is that everything in a Linux command, anything in the Linux operating system is organized as files. That means they are organized as files. They are organized as directories. So they are stored the same way. They have paths and patterns to locate them. So invariably, what you are trying to get to use in a Linux operating system or to enter a particular command, you have to specify where those things that you want those commands to do for you is located. You have to specify it. If you are trying to open a particular file, you have to tell the command that enables one to open a particular file where that file is located. So it is essential that the file system is, you are able to know how it functions. Let's go back to Windows, and then from there we can bring in what we know from the Windows operating system. When you go to your Windows operating systems, there's what we call the C drive, right? There is a C drive that contains, like, that's your local disk. Let me just say what it is. You know about the local disk, right? When you click on the local disk, you now start seeing folders like, I don't know, sorry. Can I just share my screen so that I would be able to explain? Because at times it's like we are speaking English, so that I will not speak English this time around. So let me just share and share. All right, so for instance, so are you still seeing my screen? Can I get a thumbs up if you are still seeing my screen? All right, so this is the C drive, right? This is the root storage. For you to be able to go further than this, you have to click on this. Are you seeing this thing? Trying to tell us we are in the C drive. Look at this C drive. So these are the documents under my C drive. I can choose to go to programs. Are you seeing? It is giving me a pathway. This PC, local disk, program files. Let me assume that I want to go to Cisco Packet Tracer. Are you seeing the path? Local disk, program files, Cisco Packet Tracer. Let's assume that I want to go to backgrounds. Are you seeing local disk, program file, Cisco backgrounds, then city, local disk, program, background, city. Then look at the particular thing I want to show. This G Cisco campus. So this is the particular file that I want to open up. So if I want to open this file up, as beautiful as we are clicking this thing and it's going and it's showing us this, if you want to open this file in a Linux, due to the way that Linux is organized as files and directories, organized as files and folders or files and directories, whatever you want to name it that. So they are organized as files, folders. Those are the common name we know in the Windows, but in Linux you call them directories. Those are the sentences are folder. So the pathway through which we went to meet this image, we want to open this image, and we'll click on it. This image is we open. In Linux, we have to specify this thing. You have to specify local disk slash programs file slash Cisco packet tracer 8.2 or slash background slash city, then slash gc Cisco campus dot jpg. That's the file. So for us to open it, we have to go through, tell the command that we are trying to open a image called G Cisco campus, which is located in city, and that city folder is located in backgrounds folder, and the background folder is located in Cisco packet tracer 8, and the Cisco is located in program file, and so we have to explicitly specify that. So that's invariably what I'm trying to explain when we come to the Cisco, when we come to the Linux operating system. Did we get that? All right. So let me present back what I wanted to say. Okay, thank you. So that is what we say about the file system hierarchy standard. So we have to kind of tell the pathway through which you want something to be done. We have to explicitly tell the command. See here, we are looking for we want to do something with a particular file. We want to do something with a particular file, but that file is located at this place, and this place for us to what? Have the thing. And what we are trying to do at that point is what we call the file path structure. The file path structure is the location, the route, the destination, the pathway through which we get to what we want to make use of. So that file path structure I just showed you in Windows is the same thing that is applicable when we come to the file system hierarchy standard. Is there has to be a pathway through which we will tell everything command we are issuing in where to locate the particular file we want to what we want to have something to do with. So the means by which you specify that is what we call the file path structure. And it is a file system hierarchy standard that gives us this ability or the know-how through which we will not navigate through the locations of various directories to get to the file we are trying to utilize. And this file path structure begins with what we call the what? The root directory. And that root directory is what we call the // This / is the root directory. In Windows, it is called the C drive. But in Linux, it is called the what? Root directory, which is the /. So the way you see the // and you appreciate it is the same way when you come to a Linux operating system, you see the what? /. To still make this thing more interesting, that using what you already know on Windows is, can I present something else? Yes. So I want to present my entire screen. There is what we call the Windows command prompt. When we click on this command prompt, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this C drive? Then begin with a /user. This is trying to tell me I am in a folder called user, which is in another folder called users. And that folder called users is in the C drive, which is that local disk we are talking about. If I want to go back, I will say cdd. I will go back. Now I'm back to the users directory. So I'm in a user directory, which is in the C drive. If I want to go back, C change directory ... I'm now in the current local disk. So this is to tell you the standpoint from which every other folder can be created or every other file can be navigated through is this C drive. But when you come to the Linux, instead of seeing this C drive, you see what we call the root directory, which is the what? /. And from that /, you can now be able to specify other folders inside that /, because there are many folders that took its root from that /. Are you all with me on this? If you are all with me, then we can proceed further. Hello. So thank you for that. So sorry. Let me present back my my Windows screen. So that is what I wanted to explain. So when we move further to this image will probably give you an ideal thing I want to say. So this is the root directory I'm talking about, this /. So from this /, you can now begin whatever you want to talk about. So if you want to locate any file, you have to start like this is to tell you how they are organized. So from the /, there we can see there are 3 folders or 3 directories here: home, bin, etc. Analyst is under the home, analyst 2. These are the 2 users. And analyst has documents, project, logs, reports. So these are the 2 users in this home directory. So this person that is an analyst has this folder. This analyst 2 cannot see the folder that is here because the owner of it is this analyst. So every folder that is created is either a subfolder of another folder and of another folder. So if you want to locate this report file, what do? This is /home/analyst/reports. That's /. So this is the pathway we are locating what we want to do. If you want to do so if you want to still locate etc, it is /etc. On any other folder within it will be /etc/that. So we continue going deeper. So the slash after the root slash, which is the root directory. Every other thing is the name of that thing /. We keep on going deeper and deeper, no matter the level, to the level of the folder or the directory or the file you want to locate. So that is what I'm saying when it comes to the file hierarchy. So it is a hierarchy from the up to the bottom up, from the up to the down. That is a flow from the up to the down. Are you all with me on this? Does this image speak directly to what I was trying to specify? If so, can you give me a thumbs up? All right. So, you are free to ask questions at any point. All right. So, after the root directory, after this directory here, this is a root directory. As I said, the file system hierarchy helps us to organize data. So, in this file system hierarchy, it tells us the path. And in this part, we know the different hierarchy that is separated by /. So one of the main directories we are talking about is the root directory. So after this root directory, we talk about the standard file hierarchy system directory. So these are the directories that are that follows suit. That is the second level directories after the root directory. They are called the standard file hierarchy system directories. The root directory is the first directory for the file hierarchy standard. The first directory that you see is the root directory. After the root directory is the standard, which is this one, standard hierarchy directories. So these are the things, these are the key directories which are below the what? They are below the root directories. So the first directory under the file hierarchy system is the root directory, followed by the standard directories, which follows suit immediately after the root directory. And what does this directories comprise of? We have the home, we have the bin, we have the etc, we have the tmp, we have the mnt. There are as many as. Just know that the directories that follow suit after the root directories, they are all referred to as the standard file hierarchy system directories, or they simply said the standard what directories. Are we all on the same page? All right, thank you. So I want to explain what each of those directories mean. The home directory, it is what houses every user in a particular Linux system. So the host directory, the home directory manages every user. So for every user that will come on board in the Linux operating system will belong to the home directory. They will take its root from the home directory. So every user, just imagine that Faithful was a cybersecurity specialist that came into an organization. So if they are creating any account by the name Faithful, that account will come under the what? The home directory. So after the home directory, we will see a user that is named what? Faithful. The same thing, Deborah will come under the home directory. Any other person that will be added will come. So the primary purpose of the home directory, which is a standard directory, is to house all the users in the Linux operating system. Then the bin is the second one. The bin directory is purpose is to house everything that are executable files. What are executable files? These are simply files that kind of they kind of have a core role to play in the Linux operating system. Executables are more of files that hold one operation or the other. They enable things to run, processes to run in the operating system. When you click them, they can do some kind of modifications in your systems. So kind of system, what is it called? Executables like that. We can talk about the antivirus. Are you getting what I said? When you talk about the executor, when you click on the antivirus, what is it called? Operating, it runs a kind of thing, and then it starts what? It starts executing it. It starts running temporarily on your file because you have executed something. Executable or the things are able to carry out one thing or the other once you click on them. So one of them of these executables we are talking about is the antivirus. Another executable is where you want to install an application. All right. ESE files. You know anything that has ESE files is executable. So when you want to install an application, you click on that application, it starts running. They say, are you sure you want to do this thing? So all those things that can be able to modify your system in one way or the others are all stored in the bin folders because they kind of have a way to restructure the things that your systems are temporarily used to. They kind of a way makes a major change to them. That's the right word. They make a major change to your system. Either they are its behavior or the things that are already working in your system. They have a kind of impact they do. And most of these files, how you know them is they have .exe. They end with .exe file. And most often times, they are those things that you use to install applications. As you know, in Windows, they are often application installers. So when you click on them, they start kind of putting in things to your system. So at times you have an update in your Windows. You have an update and they say, click on this to update your Windows. That thing you are clicking on is one of the things that is called what? Executables. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Right. Yeah. Who was somebody dropped something? ESE, please, is ESE, not EST. I didn't say EST, please. ESE, ESE. I don't know. What is it called? How many of you downloaded that? What is it called again? How many of you downloaded the virtual box? Come to your system. That's what I want to ask. What did you see? What's the file ending? Can you check your virtual box? What's the file ending? I want to know who has the virtual box as an application in his system. You have not removed the file that you downloaded. I'm asking people that downloaded, what is the file extension? Or should we still look at it once more? I don't know if I still have that. That should be .exe. .exe. So those are the often. So anything that kind of, when you run them, it makes a certain kind of modification to your systems. They are likely termed executables. And oftentimes they end with the file paths .exe. So it's the same way when you want to know if your document is a textual document, it ends with what? .txt, right? You now know that is a textual document. So executables often end with that. So what these kind of things make a major modification to your systems. So the second one, or the third standard directory that is which is below the root directory is the etc. Configuration files are simply the files that hold a high level importance in your system, whereby your settings pertaining to your settings, every settings in your system behaving in a particular way is because of this configuration file. They are able to set the tune or set the standard and ways in which your system have to perform in a particular way. So as this way that you start your system and then all of a sudden your system asks you to enter your password or shows you a user, this is HSON that is trying to log in. HSON, enter your password. That is because it is their configuration that are making those things to what happen. That you boot your system and your system is booting in a particular way. and all of a sudden you don't get an unusual way your system is booting. It's still the same pattern and it is following. It is because it is what? It is configured in that what way. Also, there are also configurations that are user-based, like user-based configurations that you kind of tell your system to do something in a particular way, and they are able to do it. Even as much things as when you restart your system, it doesn't do those things that you told them to do any longer. Because why? They are not the core configurations of your system. So the core configurations are things that are static. They don't change. It is like that from the manufacturer. How you know them is if you reset your phone now, if you reset your phone to your default settings, you will know the application that came with your phone by default by the manufacturer. Those are configuration files. They are core configuration. So user configurations can change, or it can change depending. But even though at that, those configurations that you still set all come into this temporary files. I'm going to tell you about temporary files. I'm coming to it. So the user ones that you set, you don't name it as the configuration files I'm talking about. The configuration files are the ones by which if any modifications is made to this file, they change the way your system acts on a normal. So the things that you resort to your default settings, those are the things we talk about when we say configuration file. That when I want to go back to the way my system was manufactured, how does it what occur? That is the things I'm talking about configuration file. So those have to do with the way your system boot up, the way your system reacts to some certain things, the way your system shuts down. So those are the core configuration. It doesn't change. So there are other things that follow suit, which is the TMP. These are your temporary files. Those ones that you set in order to carry out one task or the other. These are the ones that attackers are often looking forward to. Those ones that are stored in your RAM. You know your temporary memory is the RAM. That you are doing a calculation now, that you are browsing those cookies. These are temporary what? Files. The cookies on your browsers are temporary files. Those are the ones your attackers are looking forward to. And they are stored in the TMP. And due to their often work with the RAM, which is a volatile memory, it's volatile, right? So at the stance of your system shutting down, are you getting me? There are things that you copy in your clipboard. You copy them, copy and paste. Why is it that whenever your system shuts down and you reopen your, like when you shut down your phone or restarted your phone, those clipboard are not there any longer. But as so far as your phone is still in operation within that specified time, those clipboard things that you copied will still be there in the clipboard. The copied things that you test or images will still be there. But once your phone shuts down, they will no longer be there. These are because those are temporary files. So they are activities that you are engaging with part-time that doesn't have anything to do with the core infrastructures of your system. They kind of send tax, you receive the result. So those are the temporary things. The system have to keep memory of them in order to still keep giving you desired result. So it's just more like if you do a certain task now, if you log in, your system hold your credentials so that for the particular period of time when you are still logged in, your credentials is held. You can still access that website. But if you are able to shut down your system and still restart it, that thing will still ask you to enter back your password, because those things are temporary file that was held by the system in order to keep your sessions ongoing. Of course, you have done networking. We have known what cookies are, how they are kept in it. So those things are the temporary files, and those are the things that the attackers are looking forward to, because those are where our data are staying. And those data that we use on a temporary basis are being kept. So when we even type in our password, those are temporary data. They are not core configuration files. Are you all with me on this? So there are other things that we call the EMNT. So anything that gives you the ability to store your data longer than supposed. So as I said, temporary files are the ones that are resident most times in your RAM. So they are temporary. Once your system on and off, they often goes off. So once you log in and log out from those sites, oftentimes your cookies are no longer there, because at times cookies are for only a specified amount. I think that should be depending on the organization. They will say they will keep your cookies for 180 days or one or less than, I don't know, the specified time. They have, every organization have the way they return the cookies. There are those that delete cookies immediately you are logged out from it. So they all have the ways through which they manage that. So those are temporary. But you see that one that you stored in your storage media, that you went to your C drive and stored a file. That thing is what we call the media storage. So every storage that we are bringing into our local device for a permanent purpose is stored in our media storage. All right, faithful.
And good evening, sir.
Good
You just said something about cookies, and I wanted to ask.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
And I said you said something about cookies, and I wanted to ask. You know that on sites you want to enter, they ask you to accept cookies or not. Then I want to ask, what is the meaning of that cookies, and what about if you refuse to accept those cookies? What will happen?
All right. Cookies are temporary. Is things that keep a user, like your sessions, like it keeps cognizance of the kind of data you are transferring and some kind of data that is essential for you to have access to many of the site's functionalities. So that, for instance, if you access a web page and it takes 5 minutes for you to access that web page, I got what I'm saying. So if it takes 5 minutes for you to access that web page, so cookies can be able to say, since this person often accesses this web page, there is no need. Let me hold this particular data so that whenever this person needs it, I will just give it to them. So it's quick care. Like he has a temporary storage of that thing that you need. So whenever you need it, it helps to improve your performance and improve the user experiences that you have. So whereby I don't have to remind you often to enter your password. Anything you want to do on my side, I'll tell you enter your password. Are you getting everything you want to do? I'll tell you to enter your password. If it's that way, then oftentimes you'll be frustrated because one thing that you do after a series of time, so it is cookies that hold the ability of to keep noted of many conversations that is happening per time, and it has memory to hold these things so that you as a user, you don't become frustrated in your journey. You don't have to keep on requesting for new things. So I already know that you are using this thing, so I will be serving it to you. I have although you have entered your password, you don't need to enter it again. So far as within the memory time, I still have knowledge about this. You have entered a particular data, you need to access this. I know that you need to access this. So I don't have to keep you waiting. Every time you want to access this data, I would be able to take the whole time to bring this data to you. I already have it in my memory in a near form that I know that this person has connection to this. This person has access to this file. This person needs this file. This person is using this file. So the ability to keep track of those things so that the time in which you should have been getting it on a regular, you are now having the ability to see those things as is happening per time in a near way, and your user experience is improved, whereby you don't need to do things every time. You already have them. I know that you need these things. I provide it for you, and you have access to them. So that ability to do that is what cookies is doing for you. So it is keeping the usual data that you use so that you will not often be trying to get this data from the source where it's coming from. It keeps it in your browser handy so that whenever you need it, you get it. Are you getting what I'm saying? Huh? Faithful?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can understand. But my other question is that as much as the cookies is okay, will it not be threat to even the users using it? As much as cookies is okay, will it not be threatful? As in, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, as much as cookies is necessary. That is why every site is what? Every site is required to use what? HTTPS, that's secured. So that even though a cookie can be captured, an attacker would not make sense out of it. Are you getting me? So it is the encryption of even those data that is being held temporary, so as to enable you to navigate through a particular site and easily have access, and your user experience is improved. So the person that is keeping cookies their sites have to be what? Secure to start with. There have to be an encryption. So an encryption on the data, even if somebody does what? Have access to the cookies. That's my password. Are you getting what I'm saying? Transfer because it was kept. So I don't have to re-enter my password every time I log in. So the sessions is maintained. So if somebody opens it, the things that I taught you guys about hashing and what is it called? Encryption, turning something into a form whereby it's not usable any longer, or anybody that cannot understand it any longer, because we are using an algorithm that is transcribing that thing. So invariably, whatever that is in a cookie has to, those data are still something that shouldn't be what? If they are critical data, they shouldn't be what? Leased out to the attacker. Even if they get access to it, they can't make meaning out of it. And there are so many cookies that are there. We have location. There are things about location. There are things about your IP address. There are things. So those things have to be what? You have to know that the site that you are trying to accept their cookies should be a site that is actually what? Secure, because the cookies are necessary to improve your user experience. If not, if they don't take those data, you likely have to be doing series of things repeatedly, because it will require you to what? Keep seeking that particular data, whereby it can be served easily to you, assuming there is somebody that is having a kind of knowledge, pre-knowledge about those data that you frequently use, so as to serve it to you and to make it better for you to have access to those data. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm getting what you're saying. So that is why is it that most sites asking for cookies now will not be if you did not accept it because of those easy access. Because I think there'll be some time I'll say, okay, let me reject it. Some sites asking for cookies, I will ignore it not to accept it. So they will take me back, remove me from the site, not to get access to the site. So that is another reason why, because I refuse to accept the cookie, so I cannot access the site.
Hello?
Hello, sir. I don't know if
Is
you
that
get
what?
what I'm trying to say. I said there are some
Repeat
sites,
yourself.
I don't know, can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes,
I
yes,
said,
I can.
there are some sites, because there was sites that was about entry. So after I've been entering, so I was asked to accept cookies, and I denied it, and I was
Yeah.
not granted access to the site.
Okay.
So
Yes, yes.
then, yeah, now I'm asking if it's because of those reasons, separate data kept are those reasons that you talked about. That was why I was not
Yes.
granted access to the site.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right. So when a site is kind of, let me explain more of that. When a site is trying to tell you to accept cookies, it's all for to help you to personalize the experience, to make things easier for you. So, but they know the hurdles that they are going to pass through. If they don't keep those data, you will certainly anything that, just imagine if you click on, okay, for instance, you logged into a site, you click on your admin bar and it said enter your password again. I don't know if any of you have had that kind of experience before. If you click on anything, it asks you to re-enter your password again. You have to re-enter anything that you want to access. You have to enter. But cookies give you this ability that this person that is logging in is faithful, and faithful by virtue of this should have access to these 3 files, these 4 things. And these 4 things, you don't need to ask her again to confirm who she is. We already have this data that she is the person that is meant to access this. Are you gonna, so when these cookies are, your user experience is improved. Meanwhile, you don't have to get to do one thing or the other over and over again. So that's about the cookies. So when you don't accept it, the site people at times will not give, because they want to personalize your experience. It is what most times they used to help to gather data that they will use to improve the user, how the user use their site, and they help to better whatever they are doing, either restructuring. So those data are important to them. It's not just about you, it's also about them helping you. So that's it. Are you all with me? Huh? Can we move forward? All right, thank you very much. So for us to learn more about these 5 systems, you can still remember this command that is called man. I don't know how many of you can still remember this command that is called man. Can you still remember this command that is called man? Man is manual. So here is hierarchy. So when we want to learn more about the hierarchy systems, we just simply say man here. So man here gives us the manual. More things aside from this little, these are the foundations. We can now talk about more things that we want to know when we say we want to talk about the file hierarchy system. But these are just to give us a glimpse of what it means to know how these things function. So that when we are using commands and trying to locate or do one thing with a file, we can be able to specify where that file is located. For instance, if I want to locate Faithful, who is a user, I already know the way I will go. I have to go to //home/Faithful. Then I will see various folders that Faithful have. If I want to still locate Ordinaka, who is a user, I will still have to go /home/Ordinaka as a user. So because this, we know that every user in a Linux operating system will be found under the home directory. If I want to talk about executable, that means file that make modifications to a system or installations or everything, I just simply have to do to /bin. And I have executables of all the files. Maybe applications I've installed in my system, the executables, when they are due for updates and all those form of things, they are executable files. So if I want to talk about the core configurations of my systems, I want to see if I can change one or two things in the configurations of my system, I can go to the configuration file /etc/ any other thing I want to change. If I want to know the temporary files due to the data I am working with on my system, how they are being stored to help me to be able to do one or two things, I will go to the temporary files. You know, immediately if you open Word documents, when you type on it, those things that you are typing, sometimes you will close Word without saving it. And there is something that is called autosave. So far your system is still intact, you want to open, they say autosave files. What gives you that ability of autosave is because of these temporary files. You didn't save officially. You didn't save here in this media storage. You know, media storage is permanent storage, at least for the meantime, unless something happens to your media. So that something does that thing that you can recover something that you typed and you didn't save it in this media file because those are temporary files that are stored. So that is about that. So to learn more, we can use this man hierarchy to learn more. Are we all with me on the same page about this, all these standard file hierarchy directories? We takes its rules immediately after the root directory. All right, Stephanie.
Okay, good evening, sir. Please, I
Good
just want
evening.
to ask if practice of this command, like,
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I want to ask if we're going to practice this command, like, know how they work exactly,
Which
and like
command?
these commands, this /home, if we're going to use it.
This is not a command. This is a file hierarchy system. We are going to use it. We're going to do a lab.
Okay,
We are going to do a lab. Everything I'm doing, I'll do a lab. That's what I said. I don't know how we do. Today is supposed to end my session with you all. All right, first one.
What I want to say, you were talking about Linux has so many commands. So mine is that, and you said we should not cram those commands, we should just know
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
how are we going to know those different Linux commands?
You said?
I said, how are we going to know them? As far as you say we should not cram them, we should just, I don't know, how are we going to know them? Because they have so many commands.
Yes, they have so many commands. Why I said you should know them is that if I, for instance, forgot the command for filtering, but I know what filtering does, I can easily say command for filtering in Linux. It will give me grep. I say, oh, that's the command I remember. You know something, but you don't know what that thing is called. It's two different things because you can browse about that thing. All right, the same way I've taught you guys standard file hierarchy directories. These are not the only ones, but you already know what standard file hierarchy is. Directories that come below the what? Immediately below the root directory. So when you say LOS, that's list directories, and you saw the directories under the what is it called? Under the root directories. And some of them, if there are more things than this, you should also know that they belong to the standard file hierarchy directories, even though I didn't list them, but these are the major ones that I listed. So when you know something, it's easier for you to learn more things than trying to cram that thing because you already stick to that thing. These things that I'm teaching now, these are not things that you are meant to cram. These are things that, you know, when you enter the LOS command, you will know that any directory under the root directory is called the standard file hierarchy directories. And the directories under the home directories is the users of those things. Then anything under each user is the folder or the file that those users own. So that was why I was critically explaining this. If you understand this thing now, you have already understand the file hierarchy structure, so that when you want to make any informed decision, you can be able to say, okay, the file I'm looking for is in reports. So I will now do /home/analyst/reports. So you already know where to locate what you are looking for, like the way I was trying to say this. So I will teach you what this command does. So you know that these things are obtainable with this command. But when you forget those commands, you can be able to recall if you can know what you are trying to do. So if I'm trying to search in Linux, I will say, hey, I want to search in Linux. And when the grep comes out to you, you now know, oh, it's the grep. And you already know how the grep functions because you know how those things. But even though you forgot what grep is, you know what you already want to do. I don't know whether I'm communicating what I'm trying to relate to you. I don't know what I'm saying. It's good that you know grep, you know those commands, but do not cram. Like cramming, I'm saying, is trying to know, hey, grep, man, this thing. You get to a point whereby you cannot cram much of it. The thing is, you get to know by using them. That is the thing I'm trying to say. I don't cram these commands. I get to know them by using them. It is when you use them that you get to know them, and it becomes part of it. It's not a cramming thing. It's not a one-time thing. You are not doing this. Is what you are doing for life. That if you are taking this part. So something that you are doing for life, it looks like your teacher. Okay, the same one I'm teaching you. See, because there are many things I know, not because of I know them. I am not cramming them. It became part of you by using them. So every teacher that you saw that is teaching you now currently, and they are not using this, what is it called? They are not using Node to teach us in school. Why they were able to do that is not because of they crammed it. No, if they crammed it, they will flop when they are trying to relate that to you. Are you getting what I'm saying? They will flop. But why is it? Is that during the course of the 11 years of their teaching, they often come across that in new ways, so it now became part of them, and they can be able to express themselves. So invariably, what I'm trying to tell you is that the cramming shouldn't be your priority. Just learn them, know them, and let it. Oftentimes, when you use them, it becomes part of you. So when we are trying out one thing or the other, it is so that it becomes part of us. So we don't have any need to cram, because whatever you cram, you will invariably forget everything about it. And that's the truth. If you write it in the exam, for most of us who did cramming, if you write it, you will forget it, and that's all. So after this lecture, you have forgotten it. But if you try to understand how these commands work, so when you even miss it out, you can be able to ask Google the right question, and they will help you to remember you. So if there is one thing I tell every student, every person I meet, I tell them, one thing is know something, how something works. Don't try to cram that and know it. And then secondly, know how to ask questions. If you know how to ask questions, the burden have reduced for you. So even if I forget something, like how we were able to figure out how to do the grep, because I know what grep does. So, but I don't know how to use 2 keywords to be able to figure out how to search for 2 keywords. The only thing I did was to go online and search for how to use filter 2 keywords with grep, and I got it. When I got it, I came here, I tried it out, and it worked for us. So if it's that way, I don't know. That's the way I just felt like learning should be. I don't know if I kind of clarified you. Faithful.
I can hear you, sir. Yes, I got it. Thank you.
So, all right. So, having said that, all right, I want to really talk about 2 ways by which you kind of, when you are typing out those 5 parts, there is when you try to navigate, when you try to get to a particular folder in Linux, when you are trying to do those things. So when you are trying to get those things done, like you want to locate a particular thing, there are 2 ways. One is the absolute part, and the other one is the relative part. What is the absolute part? Anytime that requires you to type out the full location of a file, that means from one directory to the other, to the other to that particular file, it is called the absolute path. That means you are writing from the root directory to the particular thing that you want to work with. Eh? Are you with me? So whenever you practically write from the when you state from the root directory to the particular file you are looking forward to locating, that is what we say that it is the absolute path. But the relative path invariably starts from the point of the current directory you are working with. So wherever you're working from a current directory and you now navigate your path to the directory that you need, then that is called a relative path. Then you are going from the standpoint of the directory you are to the other directory that you want to be, than trying to type out everything as a whole. So when we type out everything as a whole, we are trying to say we are going to the projects directory. For instance, this is where we are going to the project directory. So instead of us to start saying know where we are currently, then change directory and change directory till we get to the place where we want to be. That is when we say that we are doing the relative part. But when we want to do the absolute part, we will type out everything irrespective of where we currently are to the place where we want to be. So we'll type out the whole path line. So that's what is called absolute and the relative part. This is the difference. When you start from the current directory you are, then keep on changing directly till you get to that directory that you want to get to. That is what we say is the relative part. But when you type out the full directory, starting from the root directory to the actual place you want to go to, that is the absolute path that you are typing forward. So this is the two pathways through which you get to the directory. Anyone that is comfortable to you, you can use. Can I use this to explain this? Yes, this is it. So if I am currently here, this is where I am. This is my current directory. This is where I am. Analyst is the user. This is where you log in. When you log into your system, this is where you will be. Analyst. You not even be here. When you log into a system by username, this is where you will be. So if you are here and invariably you want to locate logs, like you want to logs, you know what logs are? Logs are what keeps account of every activity that you currently ongoing on your system. They keep they store the activities and whatever that is going on your system. It has the timing, the what's happened, who was able to orchestrate those activities. When you invariably explicitly want to get to those things, those database of those logs, this is what log does for you. It keeps storage of all those things that is happening in your system. So let's assume we are an analyst. We want to go to logs. I get to me. So when you want to go to logs and you now say change directory, that is CD. When you say CD and you say this, you start from here. CD /home/analyst/logs. What you invariably did is the absolute path. You follow from the standpoint of your root directory and got to your what? Logs. That is it. But since you are here and you invariably say change directory to what? Logs. That's CD logs. That is what we call relative path because you are currently here. Let's assume you are in home and you want to do the absolute path. You say change directory, you want to go to the same logs. Change directory /home/analyst/logs. That is absolute path. You are specifying all the whole pathways we have to go through to get to a file. But when we are in this home and we simply say from the advantage, we know from this home, for us to locate logs, we just have to go through analyst and logs. So we say change directory analyst/logs. What we invariably did is a shortened form of it because we know where we're currently in. From the current directory we are to where we want to get to is the relative. From the root directory to where we want to get to is the absolute. Does that clarify something to us? Are we on the same page? All right, Stephanie.
Okay. You said that for relative path, we start from the user's current directory.
Yes.
And from your example, I think there are is it dots here, then the slash project. Is it necessary? I just need to like tell you that this is from your
All
current
right.
directory and not the project.
Okay. What I'm doing is this from my current directory. I'm telling it, go backward and then pick projects. Go backward and then see projects. Let me go back to this. This is what when you use 2 dots, it simply means go back. Go back. Look at it. If I am here, if I'm here, I get to report. This is where I am currently. Are you getting what I'm saying? And I want to go to this project. So relatively, I know that I am here. But for me to get to here, I have to first of all get to analyst and get to project before I get to project. If I'm typing the absolute part, that's the easiest one. I'll just, no matter wherever I am, I'll just specify change root, home, analyst, project. But since I'm here, I want to use the relative part. And the means by which I can go back is dot dot. Dot dot simply means go back. I got on them. That's the thing. Change directory dot dot. That means go back to analyst, and then I specify project. That is slash project. That is invariably what I am doing. Is that okay by you, Stephanie?
Yes, sir. It is.
That is what I showed as the example there. Where is that thing? This is what I was trying to do here. We are trying to get to the projects, but we are not in the projects, and we need to first of all get to the analyst directory before we get to the project. That is why I have to go back to the analyst and then go to the. So this thing here invariably is replacing go back to analyst. Then in analyst, locate what projects. That is what this thing is replacing. Jacqueline, I saw your hands up.
Good evening, sir. I was asking, how do you know the current directory where you are currently? Secondly,
okay.
If I have now, for example, we want to go to projects and I don't know the exact path or what to type to get to projects, is there a way to be able to search to know that for projects on this?
Yes, we are getting to that. I will tell you all the commands, how to know your current directory, how to know the directories that are under each directory. That means other directories that are inside it. So there are 2 commands. One, pwd is for to know your current directory. Then los is to know the directories that are in any directory. So you want to list all the directories that are under every directory. So if I am currently in user, I will type los and I will know, analyst, I will type los and I know the directories that other these things belong to. So does that clear you? So we are getting to that commands. Jacqueline.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I also want to talk about this sign here you are seeing. What is it called? Tilde. Tilde is at times you will see something represented as this. So simply this is a shortened form of your root directory / your home / the user. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you all with me? Whenever you see this tilde and then you see /logs, this tilde is just trying to tell us there is some other directories. We are just trying to shorten it for you. Whenever you see tilde, just know that it's saying there is more directories after these logs. This is a shortened form of there is a directory like here now. We know we said tilde / logs. So tilde is representing other directories that are above logs. That means they are upper directories through which we can locate logs. Are you with me? So when we say tilde, just know it's just kind of a shortened form to represent those other directories that you have to pass through before you come to logs. So when we say this tilde, what invariably, if we go back to that part, this thing. So this is the logs. That is to tell us there is analyst, there is home, and there is what? There is the root directory. So tilde is kind of shortening or representing these things that we have to go through before we meet logs. That is what I wanted to explain when it comes to that's what you saw me say. Tilde represent the user home directory example /. So this thing is trying to tell us there are more. So in case if you see it doing your operations, just be aware of it. Stephanie.
Yes, sir. Please, I would like to ask this field habitat.
Yeah.
Is it similar? Is it similar to relative? Because it's just the symbol that is kind of different, but then it's still the same thing, almost the same thing
Yes,
it does.
is a kind of well, we don't tell me, well, you can use it as a relative depending on what you are typing as. I get what I'm saying. You also use it as an absolute. The only thing that this thing is just kind of representing three more folders you have to go through before to come log. That is the root folder, the home, and then the analyst. This is what is just represented. Are you getting me? So most times in your system, when you log in, you will see something like this. There is a time you keep on changing something. To just simply use this thing and represent it. So when you see it, don't be overwhelmed. Don't know there is just telling us there are other folders that come up forward between the root folder, the home folder, and the users folder before you now start getting this current folder you are trying to what or you are currently accessing. Are you getting what I'm saying? All right, thank you. So is there any other thing? Can we move forward? If you can move forward, can I get a thumbs up? All right, so that's on that. So let's move forward. So these are the commands that Jacqueline was asking about, the commands through which we will navigate through everything that we are talking about so far. So if we don't want to know the current directory we are in, we'll use the pwd. It helps to print out and tell us this is the current directory we are in. It will specify that current directory as it is. So if you are in home, it will tell us /home is the current directory we are in. If you are in analyst, it will tell us /home/analyst is our current directory. Did we get that? Yes. So who am I is for us to display the current user who is utilizing a system. So you might not even log into a system. You don't even know whether you logged in with somebody's username or you logged in by yourself. So for you to be able to know who the current user of that system is, as I told you, once you get to the home, you have different users. So you maybe don't even know whether you are the person using your system or somebody has logged in, logged you out, and so you might be creating directory for somebody else. You might be using one system. You might be in an organization whereby every person uses one system. The only thing that differs for all of you is just your username. So maybe you left 5 minutes ago. Somebody else had to check something with their username, and then you immediately got in. You started creating file and folder. All of a sudden, you now when maybe the next day you came back, you're like, I thought I created one file in my username. You don't even know that you have. So for you to know the actual user in a system, you use who am I. That's the command. So there is another one for you to know the various directories inside. That means the subdirectories inside every directory is to use the LOS. It tells us whether it is files. You want to know the file that are contained in a particular folder or the file that is contained in a particular directory is the LOS file/what directory. Then if you want to change from one directory, the same thing I was saying with regards to going from one directory to the other. That means you want to navigate your path, whether you are using absolute path or you are using relative path, as I've already mentioned what they are. You have to use CD. So it will take you to that place you want to be to, or to that file you want to get to. So CD is a kind of translation to the place where you want to go to. So when you say change directory, you can say absolute path or you can say the relative path from your current directory. So these are the core key commands for navigating the file system in Linux. Are we all with me? If that's so, can I get a thumbs up? If not, can I send someone to express their concern? All right, praise. Praise.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Okay. What I wanted to ask, please just bear with me. It's about the relative parts. So I just want to confirm if what I understand as the relative part is actually the relative part. So if we say CD change directory and we want to use the relative part, for instance, we want to go to project and we are in reports. We're in reports. So when we say CD, Are we going to say cd slash analyst slash project?
You want to cd slash analyst slash project.
Is that the relative part?
That's let me explain something now. Let's get back to this. Be online, you say what you wanted to say. Let me clarify you on that. This is what you are saying. We are here. Where are you
Yes.
say projects? Where are we?
Reports.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So we say cd slash analyst slash project. Is that relative part?
That's wrong. Do you know why
Okay.
it's wrong? When you say
Why?
CD analyst slash, because analyst is not a folder under report. So you can, when you say change directory, and that directory is above your previous directory, you cannot change that. You only change directory to something that is lower. You cannot specify it that way. So if I'm in analyst, I can say change directory to reports. But if I'm in reports and I want to go to analyst, I will say change directory dot. That means go back to the previous directory.
Okay.
So if I want to go to project now, what will it be? It will be change directory dot slash project. So that dot is the go back to the previous project directory before you get to project.
Okay.
But
So
if you are above a directory, to easily get to the directly below it, you don't have to start specify. You just have to say cd analyst. When you even say, if you want to use dot, but the dot is still irrelevant, that dot is simply saying the current directory you are in. Are you getting? When you use dot, it means the previous directory. When you use one dot, it means the current directory. So even if I say cd dot slash analyst, it's still more like saying what is it called? I'm in the current home directory, then go to analyst. So I can do away with the dot and just say cd analyst 2, cd analyst slash project, cd analyst slash log, cd analyst slash report. But if I'm here, for me to get here, I have to get back here and go. How do I now get back here? cd dot. It's not just enough because I don't want to remain here slash project.
So this cd going from report cd dot slash project, is it a relative path?
It's a relative path.
Okay, that's what we describe as a relative path.
Yeah, so far as you didn't start from the root directory to specify, is a relative path.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right, no problem. Any other person? Are we all good to go? Can we continue? We still have practicals, but is that no? That is okay. Even it doesn't matter. It's okay that you understand better. So these are the commands. All right. So what about reading file content? So let's assume that we want to. Many of you that uses Microsoft Word. So what are the commands for reading file content? Like I want to open the content that is in a file. Maybe somebody typed out a particular document in a file. I want to open the content. I want to see it in my command line. The command for it is cat, then the file you want to open. So when you want to open a file, we use the cat stroke the file that we want to open. It will display everything in that file. But what if in case we don't want to see everything in that file? We just want to see just few lines of the file. There are times we don't want to see everything in the file. We are looking for a document, but we are not sure whether is it this document. And that document has 1,000 lines, like 1,000 lines, like you type something up to 1,000 lines. And you want to display everything. No, you are so sure. No, I'm not. I just want to check if this thing is in a particular file. And you don't want to see the first 10 lines. What you will use is the head command. And if you want to see the last 10 lines of that particular file content, you use the tail command. So head, the file name, tail, the file name. So by default, you will see the first 10 lines. And by default, for the tail, you will see the what? The last 10 lines of that file. Instead of what? Cat that opens everything pertaining to that. So if you have 1,000 things, it will entirely show in your screen. But just in case you want to show the number of lines, you want to shorten it or change it, this is the default when you type head and tail for a particular. Then you will now use the option N. You can tell it display for me only the first 5 lines. So you say head what? Head option, that's -n5. That means the 5 lines, then the particular file. So when you use the option now, you can be able to set your own number of lines that you want that particular file to display for you, either for the tail or for the what? Help. Then aside from this, seeing the first 10 lines or seeing the few lines or the either from the back or from the up with the, there's what we call, you just want to be able to go through, like at the keystroke, you want, when you press keystroke, it will bring for you out some other thing that is contained. You don't want it to bring out everything, and you don't want it to bring out what is it called, the first 10 lines or the last. You don't want to read it. Maybe you want to read through a PDF, and you don't want everything to come out at once. You don't want it to be coming out. When you press enter, it will show you the next page, page 1, page 2. When you use cat, all the pages, it doesn't matter, everything will appear. You now have to start using the scroll button and be seeing them. But when you just want few lines, whether or from the up or from the down, you use the head and tail. But when you want to be going through serially, either you want to be going at each keystroke, when you press a line by line, you press one line, it will bring out the next line. You press another keyboard, it will bring, you just use less. So less command gives you the ability to read the content of the file line by line, or to do it page by page. So that then, with the help of your keyboard controls, this is the way. These are the commands for reading any file content. And file content are specifically files that end with .txt as their extension. As executables end with .exe, file contents, how you know them is that files will end by txt. Are we all clear on this? If that's so, can I get a thumbs up? If not, can I see somebody express their concern? All right. So, we already did this. So we did this yesterday. Somebody asked the question, I had to do it. I said I was coming to it. But what if you want to just filter out command? There are a lot of things in your system. You don't want to be able to know whether one thing, like the way I wanted you guys to do what? I wanted you guys to, we wanted to know whether, what is it called again? Suricata and TC dump is installed on our system. And when we use, what is it called? What is that? apt list installed, it will show us everything that is, and we don't want it that way. We want to be able to filter out or get output based on some certain things that we identify. One of them that enables us to search through a string in a file is called what? grep. So it actually helps us to sieve out based on certain keywords that we entered. Sieve out something that we are trying to get. Another thing is grep can be used alone. Forget that one. I had to combine it because of we are trying to use one thing to achieve the other. We just wanted to search through the thing that was meant to print out on our screen and give us the actual thing that we need. So that's where you combine. So in such case where you want to combine one or two commands to achieve your aim, we use what we call the pipe. Pipe simply helps us that we know we want to receive this output, but we don't want to receive every of this output. We want to also be able to do other commands using the output of one command to achieve what? As input to another command. That's what we call standard input, standard output. So I know that, what is it called? I know that app list installed will bring out for me everything pertaining to all the app that is installed on my system. But in as much as I want that, I want to also use grep to filter out the ones that I need. So what I would do is to do what? To enter the full command for what? To see all the apps that is stored in my system. And then use the pipe command and say, use the output of what you'll be getting here and search through that output using the grep command, which is what? Grep, search for me this particular string for this particular output and give me only that thing, that search for that particular thing. So when we want to do such a combination, it is pipe that helps us. That is this standing, we call it the horizontal, sorry, the vertical slash. So that's what gives us that. That's where pipe comes in when we will try to filter. Then another one is what? Is the find. The find gives us more abilities to do more things. These are more abilities than the grep command. So it gives us more abilities to do a lot of things. At times, you want to search things based on case sensitive. I get what I'm saying. Case sensitive. You want to only, like, you start something in capital letter. You only want it to return things in capital letter. So find gives us the ability to do those searching in files and directory with many options. So we can search based on how case sensitive or case insensitive. We can search based on when file was last modified. So if somebody edited a file a few days ago, we want to search for a particular file that were edited 5 minutes ago. So it will only bring out file that were edited. So when we are looking forward to more options through which we can search out things, then we can invariably say that we can use the find command. And I want to still say something about wildcard. Wildcard. So wildcard is just simply means to used to represent unknown characters. What do I mean by unknown characters? For instance, if we are doing a search, and that search, and we want to search for every file that contains ABC at the last part of it. Like the last ending part of the file should be ABC. For instance, we want to search for a file that has ABC is the ending part .txt. There are other things in front of those files, but the after is abt.txt. Every other thing in the front can be any other thing, but the file it's there are other things that can form part of the initial file name. Are you with me on this? So touch something of that nature, I will still use asterisks and represent anything can come as the first letters, but let the last letters be what? ABC. So asterisk is saying to say everything else so can come in, but let it be like all the last letter will be what? Will be what? Asterisk. An example, let me just bring it back to something that you know. If you want to search for all the TXT files in a particular directory, and there are, aside from TXT files, there are executable files, there are PDF, there are so many files, there are video files, but you just want to be able to sieve out only what? Only TXT files. What you will just simply do is to do the asterisk, find for me asterisk.txt. That asterisk is saying, find for me all the files that have a name, but that name, it must be a what? It must have an ending that has what? .txt. So asterisk is kind of helping us to represent anything that can be, and then gives us the ability to use them to represent anything. It can be anything, but it must have this one. The asterisk, like any other thing can be, but this particular one can. Like this one I said, we want to search out .txt file among every other files in a particular folder. So we just simply use asterisk. Let that file answer any name. It doesn't concern us, but that file must have what? .txt as is what? Ended. So the same, if we want to search out for every file that is file name that has this thing, that is a video file, you can say asterisk dot. Let the file answer whatever you want to answer, but it must end a what? MP4. So that is the beauty of using asterisk for unknown characters. We are not interested in what those unknown characters are. So we want to use it to represent them. So are we all on the same page? If that's so, can I get a thumbs up? If not, can I see your concern? I get to express your concern. All right. So if that's all, I think we are good to go to our lab. The lab one is find files with LinuxCommands, which we have done. I've showed you the command for finding files, and then filter with grep. So are we on the same page? Can we start the practical? All right.
Yes, sir.
If that's so, then I'll present something else. Where is my I said the first practical is what? Find files with. Okay. So we are back to this. So I'm starting the lab. All right. So if we start the lab as usual, we have our So I'll be asking you guys questions since we have done it. So it's to help reinforce what we have learned. Huh? It's just to help reinforce what we have learned. Sorry. So from the instruction, you can see that previously you learned about Linux and how to communicate with the OS through the shell. You also learn how to use some of the core commands to navigate the Linux system. You can read with from your own part. You are seeing the screen. These are essential skills. Scenario. So let's read the scenario. In this scenario, because at times when we really see this scenario, it's enable to know where these things are applicable, where somebody can tell you, this, can you help me and open this file in the Linux operating system? And you are asking, how can I open it? So he said in this scenario, you have to locate and analyze the information on certain file located in the slash is what? The root directory. An analyst is the directory in the home. So this is the user. And I said all users are located in the home directory. Here is how you do. Let me still be boiling back to what we have learned. Making reference, to what we have learned. Here is how you do first. You get the information of the current working directory you are in. So we'll get the information of the current working directory we are in and display the contents of the directory. Second, you have to navigate to the reports directory and list the subdirectory its contents. You can't see my screen. I think you should be the only one. So third, you have to navigate to the user's subdirectory and display the contents of the Q1 added user.txt file. Finally, you navigate to the log directory and display the first 5-10 lines of the file it contains. To complete this task, we need to use command that you have previously learned in this course. Have we learned this command? Yes. Well, it's time that you practice what you have learned. Let's do this. Okay, so let's get to it. So he said in this task, you must use the command you learned about to check the current working directory and list its content. So how can we display the working directory? What's the command to display the working? She has even answered, Jacqueline. PWD. So when we enter PWD, so from what we see is telling us where we are in the home/analyst directory. So we already know where we are currently. So you said display the names of the files and directory in your current work directory. What's the command for displaying the files and directory? LOS. So when we put LOS, what is it giving us? It's telling us that in this directory we are in, we have the logs, project reports, and temp. So they told us which directory is your current working directory. What's our current working directory? What am I selecting at the option?
Home analyst.
Home/analyst. So that's right. How many directories does the current working directory contain? How many directories does it contain?
4.
4. I hope you are all on this together. Who is saying 2?
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Are you with us? All right. Are we all with on? All right. It's what you people are telling me I'm doing. So we have done this. We have got our current working directory. We have known what it is. We have also known the directories that are under it. So they said we should change directory and list the subdirectories. In this task, you must navigate to the new directory and determine the subdirectory's content. Navigate to home analyst reports. So there are 2 ways to do that. Remember, we have the absolute part and we have the relative part. So given that we are in the home analyst directory, what is the absolute part to get to the reports directory? Change reports. Jacqueline, you don't have to put that slash. That slash is not necessary. It's only when you are doing, you are trying to get into more this thing that you put it. So just say cd-reports. That is the what? That is for the what? For the relative part. Let me go back. If I want to go back to the what is it? To the analyst, what should I use? If I want to go back to the analyst.
Sir, hello, sir. You just said this CD report is the relative part.
Yes.
Okay.
Relative part simply means from where you are currently, you navigate to the directory either that is above you or below you. But absolute part simply means you start from the root directory, which is the slash home, you get to that directory. So whenever you start writing things and you get from the standpoint of the root directory, it is the absolute directory. But whenever you navigate from the current directory to either the directory above it or below it, from that current directory you are, without specifying the absolute, that means is the relative part. So that's what we did. We just navigated from the home analyst to the reports, which is a folder under this. So I'm now asking, I want to go back to the analyst report. And that means in a relative standpoint, what should I enter? I said I want to go back to the analyst. Remember, we are in the reports, and the report is under the analyst. So if you say CD ... we have already gotten back to the analyst, and you are now specifying analyst. That was wrong. So CD ... means we have already gone back to the analyst. So CD ... is going back to the analyst. So that is invariably what it is. So, but I want to navigate to this. You know this given here. CD is change directory. CD space ... means change directory to the previous directory. So when you use CD ... it means change directory to the previous directory. So CD and CD is more of telling you what to do for you. That's the argument we are bringing in. The ... is the argument. So CD is the command itself. CD, anywhere you see the command itself. What do you want CD to do for you? Do you want it to change directory to a directory below? If it's a directory below, we just simply type, since we have known that report is below, we say simply CD report. That is the relative part. Just understand this thing from the standpoint of the window that we are using. I was trying to tell you, I was trying to go to a particular thing in a Windows. I have to keep clicking till I get to that particular place. If I still want to go back to that thing, I still have to click back to go back to that. I need to click that backspace to go back to it. So that is what we are doing. If we want to go back to a previous directory that we are on before we come in, we just have to say CD ... CD ... simply means current directory. This way, nothing changes. We will still remain where we are. CD ... simply means we will still remain where we are, current directory. CD ... go back to the previous directory. Then if we want to go to a directory that is after that previous directory is a directory, a subdirectory under that previous directory, we can now say CD / that means go back to the analyst directory, and in that analyst directory you want to go to any of these directories that is under the analyst, which is what, let's say temp. Sorry, let me check my current directory. Okay, we are currently in the analyst. Sorry, change directory. Let me go back to report. So that change directory, let me go back to report. So I will do that thing. So I want to go back to the previous, which is the analyst. That's ... but I don't want to stop there. I want to still go back to logs. That means / logs, telling it go back to analyst, and then from that analyst locate what? Logs. Are we all on the same page? Are you see how we navigate this? If you're on the same page, can I get a thumbs up? All right. Change directory. Go back to analyst. Doreen, you are giving me a thumbs up. That means you don't understand. Can you express your concern?
Yeah, I had a network problem. I don't know if you can pardon that again a bit.
All right, there's no problem. Please, your question.
Okay, sir. What I wanted to ask is not, I'm seeing it here. This one you're explaining now, I think I understand. But the one that I don't understand is the one in our file. Find, search for files directory with specific options like dash name, case specific. I don't know if you've taught it before in the last class because I had network issues in the last
Yeah,
class. We
we
have to.
didn't. We taught it in this class. Now that's my slide for this class.
Slide for this class now. I didn't get that part too.
Ah, you want to? We are already in the practicals. I was trying to say you use find. You use
Okay.
find. Find where you want to be able to get more things with options. You want to search out for file or directory with more options. So when you use those options, like what is it called? The one that has to do with capital, case sensitive and case insensitive. You are trying to tell you find this file and ensure that you follow through that this thing must be case sensitive. Like when we say case sensitive, we mean as exactly as I typed it out. So if I say change and the change is starting from capital C, H, small h, A, N, G, E. That is to say it will find the file exactly the way I typed it. That is case sensitive.
Okay.
Case insensitive, that it doesn't matter whether you type in capital letter or you type in small letter. It will display everything that has whether capital or small letter. So this gives us functionality to search things, whether they are by where we want to search them, case sensitive or case insensitive. Then the other ones is based on M time this that you see. Is when I want to search for a file based on the last time they were modified. So I can say I want to search for a file based on files that we are modified. That means edited 3 days ago. So I will have to use the combination of those options to search them out. I get what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that
Thank,
is about that command. All right.
thank,
So
thank you.
all right, Doreen, that was the issue? Where did you miss you out? Let me understand where is your challenge. Doreen, hello, is she still with us? Doreen, I thought you were asking questions. You are lost.
Yeah,
Hello?
I was lost on the logs project report.
Logs project report. Let me clear my screen. Okay, look at it this way. First of all, we are asked to do what? For when we log in, we want to know what? We want to know the current directory we are on before we can be able to navigate whatever we want to. Whenever they say we should navigate through something, we want to know. Preferably, I would have taught you guys without confusion. I will just tell you, this one is easier, right? This absolute part for you to locate from one place that you just have to type in full. But at times, you might not have the time to be typing this. That's why I'm teaching the relative part. So when you log into a Linux system, first of all, you want to know, okay, let me say there is one thing I said. First of all, you want to know who is the user. Who is the user? And he said from that, what's the command? Who am I? So we'll know this. He said that we are analysts. That is the username we are having. We have already known that. Now, aside from that, before I can be able to go through my path to locate it, I have to know where am I currently? Where am I? I will use what? Print working directory. That's the full meaning of PWD. So whenever I use this short form, no, they have full meaning. No, CD means change directory. PWD means print working directory. That means show me the current directory line. And from what you see, we are in the home analyst directory. Since I know I'm in the home analyst, I'm in the analyst directory. I want to know the other folders as folders. That's what we know it as window, but here it's called directories. Under this analyst, what I will use is a command called LOS. So this LOS said logs, projects, reports, them. So I've already known the folders under this. So when they say I should navigate to the what? To the reports, right? So since I know I'm already in the analyst and the report is a folder inside the analyst, what do you think I should do? Is it not when I open the analyst, I will see reports, see projects, see logs, see them. What do I need? I just have to say change directory. Since that directory is below, I will just change directory to what? Reports. This is the absolute part. because I'm navigating from the current directory to where I want to be. That is it. So if I want to go back to where I came from, the analyst, because I've stepped down to a folder inside the analyst, which is a report. If I want to go back, I just have to say cd ... Dot means go back to the previous place I was coming from. Go back to the previous directory I was coming from. If I say use one dot, nothing changes. I will remain where I am. That means change directory to the current directory where I am. Change directory ... simply change directory to the previous directory I was in. So when I do it, I will do this, and it goes back to the analyst. How will I know PWD is still in the analyst? That is about the absolute, sorry, the relative parts. But what if there is also another way I can go to the reports directory? I can simply do that by typing out in full cd / that means coming from the root directory, home / analyst / what again? Reports. This is the absolute part I'm using, and it's the most easiest, and it doesn't confuse people, because it takes your time to type out this thing. It takes the time. So when you learn absolute part, it is easier for you to navigate. Absolute part is ability to know where you are and where you want to be. So where you want to be, you can easily go there. So when I put this, it's still the same thing that I was doing when I was doing the relative part. Change directory to this. Is that clear, Dori? Doreen, are you clear? Doreen, are you cleared? She's not responding to me.
Yes, I'm clear. Thank you so much.
All right, so let's go on. I promise you guys, I was still sending us. I wanted to be true with my sending external courses to strengthen for those that want to still learn more about Linux and more like advanced things. So change directory. If somebody said change directory like this, right? Like this. Do you know why this thing will not work? When you say change directory to this slash is not under reports. The root directory is not under reports, so it will not work. So when you say change directory, what are you changing directory? Are you changing directory to something that is above or something that is below? If you are changing something below, you just have to specify that thing that is below. Then if it's something that is below, that is something else that is below, then you have to do something like this. So if I'm changing to something that is below, that is inside something that is below, something I will do is what? Change this. And let me, reports. No, sorry. Let me assume there is a folder called Michael. And inside that folder is cybersecurity. Are you seeing it? So this means it's time to change directory to Michael. Sorry, change directory to cybersecurity, and this cybersecurity is inside Michael, and this Michael is directly inside what? Reports. That means I'm navigating from reports to Michael, and from Michael to what? Cybersecurity. So that's a relative part. But if I want to go to the root directory, I will have to count what it will take me from the reports. Reports to the root directory. To the root directory. What I simply have to do is this: change directory to what? What does it take me to get there? From the reports, we have to go to the analyst, right? Change directory, ... go back to the analyst, right? Slash, go back to the home, then go back to the what? So it's time to tell us, change directory, go back to the home, from the home, go back to the this, from the this thing, go back to the this. This is in the simplest part. When we are able to write PWD, what is it trying to tell us? We are in the root directory. So wherever you are, we determine how you are able to go about it. Somebody said change directory to do what? To this, right? This thing is what we are asking for, Abby. Well, who is asking that question? Change directory to the home directory. There is somebody asking this. The thing that I did here, cd dot 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 dot, is the what? Is the what? Is the relative what? Path. That's what I'm taking, the relative path. But this thing that you are doing, just be aware, is the what? Absolute path, because you are starting from the root directory. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? The person that asked this question. So this thing will work, but it is the absolute way of getting to the root directory. It is the absolute way of getting to the root directory. So it will work. Are you seeing it? It worked, but it's absolute way. The one that I did here is also another way for me to get to the root directory, but it is a relative what? Way. Are you with me? So anything that starts from the root directory, taking its path to locate what we are going to go and get, is what is called what? The what? Is what is called the absolute path. But anything by which we just have to navigate from where we are to where we want to be is the relative what? Path. So just know the difference and know when you are using them. But if a folder that is under where I am, that is we are currently now, PWD, we are in the root directory. But if I want to navigate to a folder down, let's say you want to get back to the reports. You want to get back to the reports. What we will do is we don't have to type this again. Once you have already typed this, you have started with the what? Absolute path. So since I know where I want to go to, what I will just do is what? Home store analyst / what? Reports. I didn't type the what? I didn't type the root directory again. So I'm using the relative path. So far the root directory was mentioned in your pathway through which you want to locate a particular file. That is what you call an absolute path. So are we done on this? Can we proceed further with our lab? All right, we still have one more. This, we started 15 minutes late. So let's go. They say we should display files and subdirectory in the reports. How am I going to do this? They say we should display the files and their subdirectories. Deborah, right?
Oh, sorry, that was a mistake.
How can we display the files and directory under the home analyst reports? Yes, anytime you want to display anything file directory, is that thing LOS. Anywhere you are, you want to display what is contained in that particular directory you are, is LOS. So from what we can see, what do we have? What is the option to select here?
Users.
Okay. A minute, please. All right, sorry. Thank you. So we have completed this. Please, if there are any command in my slide from finding files, I have not really thought about. I think, let me even check. I have said something on who am I. Is there any other thing that I have not talked about? Who am I? I've said something on it. PWD, we have used it. LOS, we have used it. CD, we have used it in navigating files. I think it will be in the second lab. Okay, we have not done reading files. We are still there. We are still going to get there. Reading files. All right. All right. So, sorry. I think there are 2 labs that we are doing. Okay. We are still on the same page. All right. So let's proceed further. All right. It's saying locate and read the contents of a file. In this task, you must navigate to the subdirectory and read the contents of a file in this. So they say we should navigate to home, analyst, reports, users. So how do we, by relative paths, how do we get here? We are currently here. Let me even print. We are currently in the reports. And by LOS, we are they say we should go to the home, analyst, reports, user. So whether by absolute or by relative, anyone that you understand better, tell me how we can go to the user directory. I've already printed where we are currently. Stephanie, why are you confusing yourself? Okay, she got change directory to users is the directory under report. So you cannot say go back to, when you say go back to dot dot, you are going back to what? You are going back to analyst, where you are saying cd dot dot. We are currently in report from the PWD. So, and when we listed what is in report, users is in report, and we are trying to navigate to readers by this home, analyst, reports, user. So what we'll simply do is cd users, and we are there. Let me clear my screen so I will get back. So we are in users. They said we should do what? List the files in the current directory. How can we read the files in the current directory?
If you look at this,
How can we read the file in the current directory? LOS. Sorry. LOS. So how many files are here? 2 files are here, right?
I'm able to get
Who is that?
Hmm?
Doreen, can you mute your mic? Okay, thank you. So they said we should display the contents of this. What's the command for displaying of contents? We have already known these 2 files are here. What's the command for displaying of contents in a file? Cat and the file name. That's it. If you do the cat, you do the file name. But let me tell you something. If we are doing cat and saying the file name, it is because of we are currently in a folder that contains these files. If we are not in the folder that contains these files, it will not work, because you are going to tell that cat, where are you going to locate this particular file I'm opening? Let's assume that I am here. I am in the reports, and the files I'm looking for is in the users, folder, and this user folder is under the report, as we have seen. If I want to do cat, I will say cat. Cat, what are you going to do? Go to the users directory / then the file name. That is where you will get what you are looking for. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you going to get what I'm saying? So if you just do the cat and the file you are looking for is not in the current folder where you are, it will not work, because you can't locate the folder. But since we have gone back to the report and the file we are looking forward to open is in the users, and the users, by virtue of what we know, is currently under the report. So what we'll do is cat, locate this file in users directory, which is a directory under the report directory that we are currently in. This is what we are telling you. So I can simply do this thing from here. I can also try to do it what? Change directory to what? Users, as most of you say. And then when I list, you can see the file. I can now say what? Cat, what's the file name? Q1. Please don't make mistake while typing out. Added users.txt. Remember, cat is for viewing contents of textual files, for viewing contents of files. And files, how you know them is they are textual. So when I put this, does it give us what is in that file? Yes. So from that, what department does the employee with the username Azra work in? So you see some certain scenario that will help us to where we use this command, because at times your supervisor will ask you, hey, Hen, can you help me to find where Israel, the department Israel belongs to? And you will totally shut down, because and you know, oh, how do I locate that thing? And Israel is our employee, and that file is here. You start, but this is simply what the simple Linux command could help you to get. So from the information, what department does the employee with the username Israel work in? I'm asking you all.
Finance.
Human resources. Human
What
resources.
is human resources? Who is seeing finance? From what you are seeing on the screen. What is the employee ID of the user MRED in the information technology department?
1104.
All right, so we are done with this. Navigate to a file directory and locate a file. In this start, you navigate to the directory log and examine the contents of the file. This one, I will not talk on this one. We are currently on users. How do we navigate to the, I know this thing is easier with the absolute part. I know it's easier, but in the relative part, how do we navigate to the home analyst logs? We are currently in the users, which is in the reporter. How do we navigate there?
CD
CD
dot
CD
dot
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 slash
dot.
slash
Then what else?
l-
Slash what?
logs.
Logs. All right. Are we there? Yes, that's a relative part. But if you don't like the relative part, if you have all the time to type it, you can just simply say cd slash home slash analyst, since you already know how those 5 parties. All right, cool. Ask your question. Praise.
Okay, sir, what I wanted to ask is, how do we know? Now we said CD, getting back to log, CD dot dot previous dot dot before we got to log. How do we know, like, how do we know the parts that were behind? Like, you're saying CD previous part slash dot dot previous part from that. But because you have cleared your screen now, we couldn't see the pathway that brought us down to this part, like to see what's under reports, this, that, the ones below, behind.
All right. That's because but we have been following through. That's why it's necessary for us to return whatever we are doing. But here is it. We can still go back, change directory. We are in the root directory now. We can list everything in the root directory. This is what is in the root directory. Huh? This is everything in the root directory. But we will change directly to home where we need. Huh? Then we can list everything in home, which is analyst and student, the 2 users. We can change directory to analyst. And then we can list everything in analyst. Have you guys seen that tilde? That tilde I was talking about. So
Yeah.
that's representing where we came from. Root, home, analyst is representing this thing now. So the tilde is still there. It's not going to be pushing in other thing that will be going to. So the tilde is representing the where we started from, the root, the home, and the user. That's what the tilde will represent, all those folders we pass. So are we seeing where are we going to self? Logs. We have
Log,
seen. So are you seeing where came from? We came from root, home,
home,
analyst. Then here we are. And we
log,
cannot change directly to what? Logs. So when we are saying, but that's not where we are. We entered reports. That's what we entered. Reports. Then we entered LOS. We entered user. Change to what? User. So this is where we are coming from. So having known this, we now did that thing that we do. Change directory, back. When it goes back, it's going to what? Reports. Look at where
reports.
it's going back. So when we say another back, it's going back to what? Analyst.
Analyst.
Then
Then
when we wanted it to go to logs, we know that logs is directly analyst. We now do what? Logs. So that's
okay.
where so I can clear my screen. Shit.
Uh okay. How do you clear your screen? Clear.
Clear. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank
the next one, can we even be able to do a second practical? Though I know that one will be much easier. The next one is that we should navigate. You have already display the name of the file it contains. How do we display name of files?
LS.
LOS. Okay, so we have server logs. So these are all the things that our servers was able to capture that when it was going on in our system. So having known this, he said we should display the first 10 lines of this file. So what's the command to display the first 10 lines? I said it's a default thing that it will display.
Head.
The first 10 lines. The first 10 lines, not the
Head.
back 10 lines. The back 10 lines is the tail. The first 10 lines is the head. So head server logs.txt. So look at the first 10 lines that thing contains. What if you, so from the question they are asking, although I will still do for the other one, those commands. How many warning messages are in the first 10 lines of the server logs? How many warning messages? 3.
3 or 4.
Do you know?
3,
Do you
yes,
know?
3.
All right, let me not bring in something now. I can be very creative about this. If I don't want to be able to count this thing by myself, do you know what I will do? I will do head, repeat that command I did. Are you with me? Pipe,
Head server.
pipe it, grab, right? Grab, what are we looking for?
Yeah.
Warning.
1.
Is it not what it's giving us? Is it not 3 files? Eh? If I don't want to pass through the stress,
Yes, sir.
there can be so many warnings. Though I know we have not done grab, but we started this since yesterday due to some certain questions before we are asking. So from there, I can easily get that. So that's how creative you can be to ease off your work. Who is earning their night? Chisel, do you have questions? So he said it's what? 3. So we are submitting. So we should check our progress. Why are you holding me? I don't know why you are still holding me. The first 10 lines of this file is not head and. So that's all for the file. I don't know why it's doing like something I don't know. But there's also something that we have not done. I want to still use it to do it, though we have completed the lab. Is head. Is if I want to display the last 10 lines of the file, what will I use?
Tail.
Tail. Tail. Sorry.
Server.
I want to .txt. I want to send. You know, I was able to get the previous command. You use your arrow up key. That's how you get the previous command you typed in. So it's displaying for us the last 10 lines. So when I want that command, I'll just press my arrow up key. It will bring back that command I typed last. I can be going back to all the commands. It has retentive memory as many. It's going back to all the previous command that we typed in. So that is there any other command you have not done that was on that slide with regards to locating files? Less. No, we are still coming. That is another practical altogether. That's from the filter thing. That's the second practical. That's if you guys want us to. If you don't want, you can still leave it for next class. I think we should just do it at once. So now that the memory. So there is what we call tail. Is it tail? Sorry, less. That was it now. I don't know whether that command, but if you are in your normal this thing, that command should work here. Less. So less is telling us to do what? So that we could read them one after the other. I don't know whether that thing will work here, but let's just check. So Bash doesn't have that command here, but it should work with other systems that are locally. They are, see, let me just tell you one thing about this is that Google will restrict some certain functionalities just because of, so that people will not use this thing for the wrong motive and every other thing. So, but there's something like the less command. All right, so that's on that. So there's something else I said. If you want to change the default, like I want to do head, but I just want the first 5 lines. What did I do? Without tail or
N.
you said?
Head in head hyphen and then the
So
number
you
you want.
specify the number. So that is to say I can easily say this any 5. So it will specify just the first 5 things in the server log. Was that 5? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can specify more, 20, 50. So when you want to change the default. So are we good to go on this practical we just did now? All right, so can we go to other practical? I don't know why that thing is just misbehaving. like how it was doing yesterday. I can't see my screen anymore, but my screen is showing. I can even see my screen from my screen. Blessing. I'm seeing my screen as I'm doing this. Okay, they wanted me to navigate through. Okay, I don't know why this thing is just being like this. Change directory, home, analyst. So they wanted me to use the absolute path. But what am I doing? Okay.
You're already in log, so you
Yes,
need.
I know. I know. I just wanted to repeat those instructions that is what I really made. So we have completed the. You know, this thing is programmed. So if you don't do it the way they wanted you to do it, they will just be doing what. So I was using relative parts, and then they wanted me to use absolute part. So that being said, I guess we are done for this lab. Give us our 4/4 now. Are you wasting time? And we should have been done by this, I think. Should be 4. It's 4/4. So that's so I can easily end this lab. Very good. We are not ending that lab. All right. So are you seeing my screen? Are you currently seeing my screen? The recent screen I'm sharing now. You have not
No.
started. All right. I think you are seeing it now. All right.
Yes.
So let's do the
Yes,
this is just 3. So let's do that remaining commands, which is what filtering in Linux. Grep, we have even done it self. Is there any need for us to do it? Grep, pipe, we have used them. Have we not used grep and pipe here?
We've done it though.
It's all the fine. It's all the fine. I know that we have not. Where is this thing? Uh, let me refresh this. I don't even know. Okay, it started. They said I've completed my lab this thing. Sorry, you can only run one lab. Oh, that lab, I didn't shut it down. That lab, I didn't shut it down. Sorry. I didn't shut that lab down. Sorry, they can't allow me to run 2 labs at the same time. Let me simply shut that lab down.
I can't see your screen again.
I said just a minute. I'm seeing my screen.
Okay, I can see it now.
I wanted to shut down this lab so I can start another one. End lab. End lab. All right, I think I'm doing this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Filtering with grep. So I think that lab should start by now. So can we start it now? Yes, we can. Okay, so let's do this and let's use it to conclude whatever we are. How are you still doing like? So can I have my credentials is just recording online. Okay, so what does this tilde sign mean? What does this tilde sign? That means that we are an analyst or any user's current directory. When we even press PWD, you can see it's home analyst. So that's the representation. So it might not show you this thing. That tilde is a representation. So let's go down these activities. Let's see scenario. It said in this scenario, you will need to obtain information content in the server log and user data file. You also need to find files with specific names. There is how you will do this. First, you will navigate to the logs directory and return the error messages in the server log. Next, you will need to navigate to the user directory and search for files that contain a specific string in their names. Finally, you start for information content in your user file. It's okay. It's English. Let's continue. In this task, you must navigate to the analysis. So how do we navigate? Change directory anyway, whether absolute or I've already showed where our current directory is. So we have to know. I know, sorry. We have to list so as to know where we are navigating to. Are you all with me? They said we should navigate to the logs. What do we do? Look at where we are.
See the logs.
You can't see my screen. Who else can't see my screen, please? Hello?
I can see it.
Hello, sir. So I can see it now.
Please, I'm asking something. Somebody should tell me, how do we navigate today? You said we should navigate to the home analyst logs.
See the logs.
CD logs. All right, Veronica, you are raising up your hand. Veronica. Okay. So we are in CD logs.
It was a mistake.
You said? It was a mistake. So we say we should go to server logs. Before then, we should know this is where server logs. Server logs is a file under logs. All right. He said we should use grep to filter server logs.cst and return all the files containing the test string error. So how do we filter? Somebody should do. He said we should use grep to filter the server logs.txt file and return all lines containing the test string error. Nobody is helping us out. Huh? Yes, Victoria, that thing you wrote is correct. So it's also correct. It's also correct. What you wrote is correct. But you can also still go directly. Are you with me? You can also still go directly. Grab. What are we searching for? Error. You can. It's correct. That is also correct. Error. What are we searching for? In where? Where are we searching for? Server logs. .txt. This is what they asked for us. Can we see it? So whether you want to do the cards, even that one is a long process. You can simply say grep. It knows what it wants to do. So it has the ability to access the files. So that one I was doing is more of trying to show you how the pipe command works when you want to use it. Right? So it knows what we are doing. So grep can do anything. It can go through files. It can go through folder. You don't need to cut it. It will still do it automatically. But yet what you typed out is correct. So how do I show that what you typed out is correct? Cat, server logs based on what Victoria typed. So there are many ways to cross the bridge. TST, grep, errors, right? That's what you typed out. So this is what you typed out. What is that name? What do you? Was
Yes,
what you
sir.
typed? Is error?
But
It's not errors.
yes.
So this is still the same thing. So whichever one that works best for you, just do. For me, I don't like stress. So anything that is easy, I will use it. Like using absolute path. I might not even have time, but so how many error lines are there in the server logs from what we have done?
6.
Six.
I hope nobody is sleeping in my class. So. I hope nobody is sleeping in our little class. Our class is not my class, it's our class. We are both owning it because without you, there is no class. So They say file finds containing specific strings. In this task, you must navigate to the home analyst reports users directory and use the correct Linux commands and arguments to search for user data file that contain a specific string. I know Doreen is late in your country. I'm so sorry. We are ending very soon. Sorry, I saw that you are crying. Sorry, so sorry. So using the home analyst reports users, how do we get there? We are currently in logs. How do we get to reports and users? Somebody should give me a file path. Absolute. I know absolute is easier. It's just to say CD. We start typing now. So is anybody giving us the relative file path? We are currently in users, which is under the sorry, we are currently in logs, which is under the analyst, but you want to go to the users, which is under the reports. So change directory. Okay.
Slash. Dot, sorry. Slash.
Is that?
Slash.
Reports, right?
Yeah.
Users. All right. So we are there. So we are going to now use the pipe command, that one that we know, to pipe the output of the LOS command to the grep command. We have done this one in our last class now. So somebody should give me, using the pipe command, pipe the output of the LOS command to the grep command to list only the files containing the string Q1. Let me clear my screen, please. So somebody should do that. We did this in our last class. Somebody asked it, how do I know if I want to just list only the thing that contain some? So how do we do that? Type out your command and I'll still see it.
Is that?
Is that? LOS. So I just want you to only bring out the files and directories that have a particular thing, LOS that has Q1 to them.
So LOS pipe grep space Q1.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, Adanaya, what you wrote is also okay, but this is not trying to consider the things that can start with any character, but it must have Q1 in them. It's still okay. What you wrote is still a good one. That's what she was trying to say. Is this? If we do this, grep star, you know this thing. So anything can be in the front, but something must be at the back, which is Q1. This is wrong. Why do I say it's wrong? Because it will. Okay. Right. I think it's right. Yes, it's right. There is a as I was thinking about, like doing it and then saying that it must end in what is it called? It must end in TST. So when you do something like that, it's not returning anything. That means it's wrong. I guess so. It should be wrong. So, but I can do something like this. Grep. Let me show you where that asterisk I was talking about is majorly applicable. I want it to bring for me any keyword how they used to do that in Q1 that has Q1 as the starting and then can end with anything like this. I think this is it. But this thing will not print. I think there is a way to do this. And sorry, I think let's figure out things together. There is a way we do this. All right. Grep. Sorry. This is Q1. Somebody raising up their hand. You can say something. This thing is hanging, please.
Okay, I just wanted to ask because it seems that Shika did something like LOS and grep star TU1. So I want to ask, is it correct or is it right? Because you're saying something that is wrong.
Is that?
No, it's what Shika said now. What she said.
No, I wanted
What
to. I know what she was doing. She was trying to deploy how we can use that as theories, and it's something I wanted to showcase, even though it's not part of what will be on this lab. So I wanted to showcase it. If you look at what I did here now, if you look at what I did here, I was trying to, you please be putting this thing. That's why I said, you remember when I told you guys to be putting this thing in colon, what is it called, quotation mark. It helps to tell the computer or better tell us what we are doing. So when we say this Q1, I
Yes,
get
I
what
can
I'm
hear
saying.
you.
Q1,
Yes.
then this dot of a thing. The situation we are trying to say is that these things must actually contain a Q and a 1. But this is not invariably what I was trying to showcase here, because this thing is printing out everything that has Q on it. I get what I'm saying. It's printing out everything that has Q on it, which by is not even the purpose I want to achieve with it. So it's saying Q1, then every other thing that can be at the back. But that's not the purpose of what I want to achieve. Invariably, look at what I'm saying that I wanted to do with this. Who is that? Their mic is on, please. Petrol. Can we finish the lab first? Then I will show that thing. I will show asterisk and then I will show the find. Eh? Can we
Okay.
finish the lab? So from
Yeah.
sorry, what did I? Let's finish the lab. Then I'll show you those things that thing that so it will not divert. Okay. So using the pipe command, the output of the LS command. So it shows us what? What did it even show us? I've even clear. What did it even show? Where is that? This is the main command we are meant to use. I think. So what did it show? How many files?
3.
Yeah. So it will only bring out for us what has Q1. List the file that contain the word access in their names. How do we do that? How do we do that? This, right? Access.
Great.
How many are they?
4.
Okay, thank you. Let's leave this thing. Pico. They just need us to do it in a specified way, but we have already done what. In this task, we must search for the information contained in the user, display the files in the users, analyst, reports, users. This is where we are. Search the Qt deleted files for the username Geo. So who is doing this for us? There is a file. How do we know if there is a file? LOS. Is that we should search for what? Reports users. Include deleted users.txt files. We should search for the username ghill. So somebody should take up this one and do it for it. I think that's the. Is anybody coming up with anything?
Let me try.
Okay.
Grep
Grep.
ghill, then space q4 added users.txt.
Okay, Q4. This one Q4 added users. Sorry. Added users dot txt. This thing, okay. It didn't show anything.
Okay, the notes here, they said you should put it in quotes. So I don't know if you put the J Hill in quotes. If it
All
will
right,
work.
thank you. That you see that thing I was telling you all like we should try as much as possible. Let's still put in quotes and see, is it because of the quote or is it because there is no name like that existing? That's the two things. If anything didn't print, that means you know there is no name like that existing. Now where's the G yourself? Okay, they said Qt deleted, not added. Did you see where we got it wrong?
Yes.
Qt deleted. Users.txt.
Q4 deleted.
Okay. Thank you. You guys are Q2 deleted. So that's okay now.
Yes.
So can we answer the question? Did you find the username?
Yes.
Yes.
How many users were added to the human resources department in Q4?
There's a
How do we search? Grep.
Grep, human, okay, quotation, human resources.
Human resources.
Then Q in quarter
Q4.
four, Q4
Q4 added,
added.
right?
Yes.
Users 30. So how many?
2.
Okay. So I think that's all. So which command have we not tried? So now we can now use this opportunity. There's 2 things. I think that's the star and the star and what?
Find.
Star and find. Okay, so star and find. I think that approximately the command that we are looking forward to. So is there anything like count? We can only know if there is anything like count. We can search and know whether is there anything like count. How do we search if we want to know? Somebody asked a question on count. We want to know if there is anything on count. How do we know if there is anything on count?
Are we going to do man count? I don't know.
Manual hierarchy.
Change directory. So we will see manual, right?
Yes.
Manual health. No manual entry for here. So why are we okay? Manual. What manual do you want? What manual do you want? Count. Command not found. If there is anything like that, it will show us.
My concern is, for example, you have a list of maybe under human resources, you have 1,000, you don't want to count manually. For our case, we had like 2. So I was asking, is there a way you can count rather than counting manually? 1, 2, yeah?
Yes, there is, but I've not utilized such, though there is, but there is a better, what is it called? Counting in Linux. That's why I said you now know what you want to do. So you can easily go and find out many things. They used to use find to count as well. I get what I'm saying.
Okay, sir. I will check with Google.
There is a thing, or they usually find with the type F option. You use it to count through the file that you do. So everything that you want to do is there. If you have this knowledge of, I'm just trying to lay the foundation of what you want to do, and you can be able to say, I want to do, how can I be able to count 5? You will see it. And then you just need, that's why I say don't cram command. Cram how these things work. Like this, we are trying to do this 5 part. If you don't know how to navigate 5 part, you have issues. Because even if you learn about the command, what it does, you are going to invariably cause harm to your system. You can be trying to do something and it will now be doing some other thing because you are in the wrong direction. So anything you want to do, as you just made mention of, you can even be able to figure it out just by simply doing what? By simply asking the right question. So there is a way to count through the file that you want to count. Are we all on the same page? So let's quickly do those 2 things I was trying to show you all, which is the find command, right? And then what is it called? And then the iname, right? That's the find. Can we do the find?
Yes, sir.
So what do you want to find? That's what I'm even looking at. What do you want to find? What do you want to find? What do you want to find? How do you want to find? What do you want to find? Can anybody guess anything you want to find though? Because it's used for the same thing grep is used for. But now, okay. All right. Okay, let's just say. Where are we? LOS, sorry, CD. Where are we now? PWD. Okay, we are in the home analyst. Let's just assume we don't know whether the home analyst contain any folder. I get what I'm saying. But from what they are telling us from our lab, we want to check if the home analyst contains any folder like reports. Abby, are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
We can be able to say find. What are we finding for? Reports. Are you with me? This is telling us, giving us everything. It's telling us there is a folder report. In that report, there are what? Users. They are this, they are that. With all the files that are in that what reports, it's giving us account. Yes, there is a folder report so inside the analyst. Then inside that folder, there are other this thing that took its files under this report. It's giving us both what is contained in the directory and what is contained in the subdirectory. Are we clear on this? Huh? Praise, raise up your hand. All right.
Okay, sir, can we from this find report, can we say if maybe just like the question they asked us, maybe how many people were added, how many people were added to human resource department, how many people were removed? If we have a question like that, can we say find report slash users slash, let's say if the question says, let's say Q4 deleted users slash Q4 underscore deleted underscore users dot txt. Can we say something like that? Then it gives us what is inside that file or directory.
All right. Where were we even coming from? Chain directory. I want to answer your question by doing what you asked for, right? Where are we even coming from? This is a chain directory to reports to users. That's where we are. We want to do this. Search for Q3. Find Ghill, right? That's what you are saying now. Eh? Find Ghill in Qt deleted users.txt. Am I right with what you are asking?
Yes.
Deleted.
But it's not specifically Jehill. Jehill is like your there's is like you know that this particular person was deleted. We're just saying find the files that's inside this Qt deleted user text.
I don't understand.
Like find after find Qt deleted user text, just like that instead of the Jehill.
What is it finding? You have to specify what you want it to find now.
Okay.
You have to
Okay.
specify a keyword you want it to find. But invariably, why find is necessary that it finds both files and directories. But grep itself is specifically for files. It doesn't do anything with directories. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Okay. Yes,
Like
sir.
grep can go inside the content of a file and then be able to bring out that thing that you want for it. It doesn't need cat. It doesn't even need to go inside and bring it. Like this file now. Are you seeing what it's telling to tell us? No file or directory. Because it's specifically finding files and directory. But the grep is for files and the contents that is in a file. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the find is just for that. So you can tell us if a file is existing or not. So let's say instance, that thing we are trying to do with grep and we are not getting it. We can do it with find.
Okay, sir.
Find what do you want? We want to find all the Q1 files, right?
Okay.
We want to find all the Q1 files that are asterisks. I think this is the thing we are trying to do. We want to find all the Q1. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to do, right? Yes. Fine. Where are we finding? Sorry, I didn't specify. Where are we finding? We are finding in this current directory. That is dot. Dot simply means in the current directory. It's giving us all the files that does what is this? Sorry. Let me go. I'm coming. This what is it called again? This asterisk is what I wanted to kind of clear the air on. But files, you guys have understood what files is. It's just for showing all the file that exists and the directory that exists or not. So this way of using the what is it called again? The asterisk is what I really want to put forward properly. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, so this is this Q1, this is asterisk. That means after Q1, the thing can contain any other file. What if what is it called? Is contains Q, then contains one, and then any other file. So I think this. Let me try this. This should contain Q1. Okay. Are you all with me? Hello,
Yes.
are you all with me? I know it's late, but let's just figure this out together. This asterisk is a kind of trying to replace. So we need one. We need anything that will start with this one, and then anything that will end by it will must surely contain one, and then what is it called again? All right. Okay. Okay. I just want to do this. That is our content. That means the file will start from Q1, right? Q1, then this, then this, and it's still bringing out all those things, every other things like that. Okay. Someone can help us out too, because I know that I've been this, what is it called again? Okay. Okay, there is even still a command I didn't even talk about, but is okay. The iname and the name and iname is still another thing I'm going to talk about with regards to the find. Aside from using find to get some other things, the iname and the name is another thing I'm here to talk about. You guys didn't even tell me something about that. So I'm the one making the mistake since now, that iname and the name, because I just went through my slides, then can be able to that iname and the name. That's the thing that the find uses. Huh? Q1. Right, that's what we are trying to find. Pass must precede the expression the and name possible unquoted pattern after predicate. Okay. All right. Q1 text. Okay. Can be any other thing, but it must have Q1. Case sensitive. Okay. Is it? Define possible unquoted pattern after predicate name. Unquoted pattern after predicate name. Pass must precede expression dots. Path must exclude expression dots. Okay. Path must exclude possession dots and then okay. Path must exclude protection. What is this saying? All right. I think I figured that out. So Claire, find in current directory. What are we finding in current directory? Q1. It will give us everything. No match for search files. All right. No wahala. Find in current directory. Quotation mark. Sorry. INAME. Quotation mark. What is it called again? What are we looking for? Q1. That thing will start with Q1, but it can have any other thing aside from Q1. All right, we figured it out. Okay, so that is find in this file name. Then you give it the name. You know when the name is used, this name is used here. This name is simply saying what? It says it's case insensitive, right? That was what is on my slide. That's what I needed to. Where is that my slide? It said find, search for file or directory. INAME simply means it is case sensitive, and INAME simply means it is case insensitive. So that's to say this one is saying that it doesn't matter, it matters that the cases we are specifying. Let me clear these things on case sensitive and case insensitive. When we use this, it is exactly responding to how we type this. We are telling it any file that starts with Q1, it can end with any other thing after, but it must have Q1 in its part. So it's giving us 3 files. So any other thing like this hyphen added can follow. But that is to say, that's why I'm saying about with regards to this asterisk. Then Q1 simply means it must be Q1. If we do find dot name and say small letter Q1 and do this, let me tell you that nothing will come out from this. Because why? This name is simply saying something on case sensitive. It ensures that it follows the case sensitive, that if it's capital, we specify it must be capital. If it's small letter, it must be what? Small letter. So as we say small letter now, it will not find anything. Are you seeing it? It will not find anything. But if we want to do it case insensitive, whether it is both capital or small letter, whether we type in capital or small letter, what is it called? Yeah, like this. Are you seeing? We will use small letter, but because INAME simply means this case is whether small or capital letter. That is on the 2 parameters. Please, when you are using find, ensure that you are using any of the parameters. It will help to filter out the things that you are doing. I think that was where I got it wrong from the onset. You know, this thing is more of it has been, you have to refresh your mind if you didn't get it. But I know what I wanted to do. Just kind of try to, you know what you want to do. Ask the right question and get the right answer. There's one other thing that I'm also going to explain. That is the M time in my slide. That's the M time and what again? M time and what? I don't want to leave everything on turn. M time and M minutes. That's to tell us the last time something was modified in a certain date and what time. So invariably, what this thing simply means is this. Clear. Let me clear something. I want to ask you a question. What did I say that if you want to get the file and the permission that is on that file, what do we use? Have I taught it in this class? Was it in this class? If you want to know, yes, it was in this class. Yes, Victoria. LOS, LOA, or is it LOA or LOH? LOA. So look at these things. It has the permissions and the thing. As you can see here, these files have the date they were created, October 26th. Right? This is the day, this is the time they were created, right? Or kind of was modified or whatever. So, but when we want to search based on when a file was last modified, that's the intent of our search, right? We want to know when a file is last modified. That's it. So we want to use either of the M time and then all those things. So we want to know when was this file modified? When was the file modified? When was their last time? When was it? Either in minutes or in seconds or in depending on what we are using. So the days and every other time. So when we use M time, we are simply meaning file that are modified in a day, more than a day. So when we use plus, just know that it is specifying file that was modified a day after. Are you getting that? It's more than a day that it was last modified. When we use minus, we are talking about file that were modified within the last past 3 days. Let me come so that you will not be confused on this. Let me come. So let's use cd dash dash cd dash dash. All right. So we want to do cd, sorry, not cd, find. We want to find in the projects directory files that were last modified. What's the thing I said? One of those commands is what? Let me use one of them. Is m time. M time is for days, and m minutes. M minutes is for minutes, like time frame. M time is for days. M minutes is for time frame. Are you getting what I'm saying? Hello, please pay attention on this area. I was saying you use m time. You use m time for when you want to know the dates, like days a file was last modified, and then when you want to know the time a file was last modified. So you can say in 60 files that were modified in the 60 second, that is more than 60 seconds ago. So that you bring out all the files. So when I say find in project, that is the folder m what? M time. I'm talking about the date. M time. When I say +1, what I'm saying, give me files that are in this, find file that are in this project folder that was last modified a day plus. That means more than a day ago. If I want it to be less than a day, that was modified in the less than a day, file that were modified maybe less than 15 hours ago, all those files. So I'll use -1. If I use anything plus, I'm saying more than. If I use anything minus, I'm saying less than. Is that quite clear now? Are we on the same page on this?
No, please. I didn't understand though.
Okay. If I'm finding, like I said, find in project. That's the scenario I'm using now. Find in project. I want to know there is no exact file I'm finding here. I'm not finding exact file. I just simply want to know. Which files, like which files that are in the folders directory. Project. I can specify this thing as anything again. I can specify that the full this thing home/analyst/projects. That is projects, right? Projects. So I'm telling you, find for me in this projects folder files that m time +1 that were last modified more than a day ago. That means anything that is more than a day, that it has been a day and above that it was last modified, provide me with those files. If I say -1, I'm saying provide me with file that was last modified either few hours ago, but is not up to a day. Does that serve? +1 m time simply means telling us that we are reading files that are in days, like last modified. So last modified simply means, okay, I came today, look at this file, qaccess.txt. This file was in October 26th. So I came and I added something to this q1 access.txt. And in 5 hours time, I now said, find home analyst project m time -1. This file will what? This file will appear because this file, it has not been up to a day that it was last modified, because it said anything that is less than a day. -1, I mean any file that was last modified in less than a day. If I put +1, this file will not appear because this file is not more than a day it was modified. Are we getting the m time thing now?
Yes, thank you.
So when I put this now, they said no such files or directories that was last modified in a day for the projects, right? That was what he's saying. I'm still with you all. I'm coming. What is it called? So what we'll do now is, what is it called? Where is this file itself? Let me even know. Oh, this file is in users. Let's go back to reports. Reports, right? That's where we're supposed to go back to. Change directory to sorry. List These things under projects. Let me even know. There might not be any list under projects. There's no file. PWD, analyst, LOS. Oh, that's project. We made mistake. Sorry, I'm writing projects. So just be. Yes, I know it's not already. We are rounding up, please. I want to explain this. Project is this. So there is nothing that came out. That means, let's check. Oh. -1. There's nothing. Let's go to reports. Change directory to reports and see if we are going to get find current directory. M time project data +1. Not getting anything. Project data file data -1. All right, look at it. M time -1 is giving out that these files, it has just been less than a day they were last modified. But for the +1, there was no file that is more than a day that it was last modified. So if we also want to do for the what is it called? For the minutes, min, we are specified the minutes. So we can say more than 60 minutes ago plus 60. These files are coming out because they were last modified more than 60 minutes ago. Let's check whether it will still come out for -60. None of them came out because all of them were modified more than 60 minutes ago. Since we started this lab, it is just less than, it is often, or maybe based on when the file was created. So when we use m minutes, m time, know that m time is simply trying to find file that was last updated in the day or more than a day, just talking about day. M minutes is talking about minutes. So just this is how they are applicable. But we'll still kind of go over this again in our next class. I'll do this find of a scenario again so that it will better both the asterisk. Please, somebody should remind me in the next class so we go over to it again. So sorry that this thing have extended beyond. It's all for your good. I was trying to see if I would be able to cover all a lot because my class is ending with you today, but I still have to beg. I will still have to beg the person that has to co-facilitate for the next class. If he agrees, fine. If he doesn't, people will continue with him. I'll then have to send you a kind of resource that we will read up on. I will send the remaining slides I have for you, and then a kind of reference guide for other commands that you will be trying out. Whichever case might be, I thank you all for being part of this class. Praise.
Okay, so I remember that you said that you teach us SQL.
That's what I was saying now. Those are the things I was saying. These are the things I wanted to have in stock with regards. I wanted to finish this Linux command. There is 2 more slides on this Linux command. Then the third slide is the SQL of a thing I wanted to also handle it. Then that should summarize the whole thing of about searching and trying to find one thing or the other. So any day aside our normal class time, if you guys decide and pass it up to peace and say it's possible for us to meet any day aside from the normal class, then we can meet. I'm all open towards it. So, but for now, this is this. So if I'm able to get an extension next week, we'll continue so that I will round up because this is important. This Linux command to lay the foundation. We still have Linux command 2 slide, Linux command 3 slide. Then the MySQL, that one is just one topic. It's just to tell you how to do sorted filtering in structured database. All right, praise. Is there any other thing? So for the people who were able to stay till now, I'm so sorry. I still apologize. It's just for us to get through with all these things and better understand it. So is there any other thing? If there is none, I think should have the best of the weekend. Enjoy your time. Sorry for those that are in another country that I know that it is very, very late. So sorry. So sorry about that. I'm sorry. I pray that your good endeavors will pay off. You will get the reward for every time you are putting in here. God bless you all and thank you. Do have a great weekend and a great night. Bye.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.